Where does our merry tale of a serial killer begin?
Okay, so this week's legend, Johnny, is legendarily awful. This is the first true baddie we've done. She froze girls to death in winter. She'd pour water on them and leave them outside. She was starving them. Then she was forcing them to cook and eat their own flesh.
What's the worst thing your mum made you eat?
They sewed him
No, gone.
alive into the belly of a dying, rotting horse and left his head out to die.
See what it does? It makes Game of Thrones look like Frozen. And now we come to the award for the worst woman that's ever lived. The nominations are
Elizabeth Báthory. Well, let's just call her the bad girl of posh murderers,
Okay.
right? She really was
she's
pretty
the
bad.
bad girl of 16th century Hungary.
This is a global production.
Welcome to episode 76, podcast 76 of Bloomin Legends. I'm Johnny Vaughan.
I'm Gavin Woods.
Can I just say I went slightly early then with that?
You did.
Normally I do the I'm Johnny Vaughan, but this time, I don't know. I mean, if you're a regular viewer, I went and I was already on it.
Well, you're lucky. Your flourish is outside the microphone.
Yeah.
I got to get the axe through
Timber!
past the microphone.
Yes, you have. Yeah,
You know.
It is cramped, but the way you do it is quite superb.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's really nice, as we said, to have catch gestures. No, it is.
It is.
I'm trying to think of
how
any
many
others.
people have them. Is that it? Ted Rogers,
Drop a comment below. How many people have?
Tommy Cannon,
Yes, Rock on
and Bobby
Tommy,
Ball
yeah, Rock
with the braces
and the leg. Yeah,
yeah.
But I mean, we were so proud as kids to be able
to do the 3-2-1.
I was once walking in Hamburg. It's a true story, and my friend and I walked past this, what was obviously some sort of brothel or strip club.
Yeah.
And we walked outside, and there was a guy there who's called a barker, and he was trying to encourage us to come in. This is a true story.
Yeah.
And he was trying to encourage people, like, come on in, come on in, it's good. It's all naked.
It's
Yeah,
sexy.
It's sexy.
Discotheque.
He was Armenian.
Right.
And I said to him, look, all right, it's so good. Yeah, why aren't you in there? And he goes, no, for me, too much. And I said, what?
3 vices in
I
one
said,
hand.
what? He says, too much shivers. I said,
What's he got there? He's got drugs,
I said,
booze, and sex.
did you just do a gesture then for booze, cocaine, and sex? And he goes, yeah, too much.
So subtle.
You got the trick to doing it. I was telling Toby Tarrant, who does the morning show on Radio X. I was telling him about it.
Yeah.
And he was he just can't get it right. You just got to keep the hand shaking throughout.
He's
the
been
gesture.
practicing for months now.
Yeah, he
hasn't
can't
Yeah.
get it right. You
Right.
just got to keep the hand shaking throughout the gesture. So it's and then you're away.
It's shorthand.
Please send your efforts to our social media.
Yeah. Who's got trademark gestures?
Yes, yeah. It's the old Hamburg hand. But that's
fantastic.
it was amazing. Yeah.
Wow. International too.
But it's the way he trailed off. His name was Amit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, without the surname, I haven't identified him.
No.
But it was the way he went. He goes, I can't go in there, guys, I go, why not? He goes, too much. But if you can name any other visual catchphrases,
Yeah.
we'd love to hear from you. And then, Gav,
Yes.
if we get enough of them together, we can do the whole of the extra legendary bit just with gestures. which
The silent legendary
would be
bit.
marvellous. Anyway, while I'm talking about the extra legendary bit, that's our extra podcast, which comes out on
Sundays.
Sundays, and that's your legendary stories, the legends in your own life. So, could be your granddad, could be your father, could be an uncle, could be your mum, could be your
yourself.
Could be yourself.
Yeah.
Could be some lunatic you met on a stag night. Could be a story you've heard. Could be someone you served with. Whoever it is. bloominlegends@global.com. That is our email. bloominlegends@global.com. Catch the legendary antics of our listeners on our Sunday night extra legendary bit, which is it's a sort of supplement for Bloomin Legends, the podcast. You join us for episode 76 of. Wow.
Right,
I
you got
to
through
the
that
end of
okay
This
there,
stuff
yeah.
isn't scripted.
Wow. You ended with an "of" as well.
No, it's fantastic.
My
It's
God.
like a barrister, you know.
I was...
I'm up there with like David Mellor.
You are. That was
He used to be able
really-
to do these sentences. You're thinking, he's not.
How's he getting
he's not
out
gonna be
here?
able to-
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to. There's not enough declensions to get
They're
out of this.
in.
Yeah, how's he going to conjugate his way out of this without a comma? But he can because he was, of course, a QC. So we come to episode 76 of Bloomin Legends. Here we go, Gav. Hit it.
Okay, so this week's legend, Johnny, is legendarily awful. This is the
Yes.
first true baddie we've done, even though we've got some, even on the top 10 list there, that were at least in part real baddies.
Yes.
Today's Bloomin Legend is a woman called Elizabeth Báthory,
Right.
a countess from 16th century Hungary, a noblewoman born into one of Europe's most powerful families, who tortured and murdered up to 650 victims, mostly young women, over a 25-year period. She is considered the most prolific female serial killer in recorded history.
Are we sure we're going in the right direction with this, Gav?
Well, I mean, when you read the story, it is mythically awful.
No, but I know why we're doing this.
Why? Go on.
Because serial killers are big news on the socials.
They are, yeah. You can't go wrong with a bit of serial killer.
Serial killer. Boom.
And also, awful though it is, you go back far enough,
Yeah.
somehow it's easier to talk about.
But also, what I want to know is this woman. I know she's a Hungarian aristocrat from,
Yes.
from medieval times,
Seriously aristocratic.
from late medieval
yeah,
period.
Yeah,
Like it's about what end of
1570s.
so end of the 16th
Yeah,
century.
yeah.
So actually just after medieval.
Yeah,
really.
just after.
And
yeah.
and what worries me, you see, for me, Henry VIII is a serial killer.
And I think so too.
But once you get the numbers up like this, I mean, aren't they?
Well, the thing is,
With you see what I'm going to say?
Yeah, no,
Is
no,
the-
I
is the-
do, I get
the
it.
Spanish Inquisition, serial killers. You know, you
yeah, I
start to
get it. Well, she was an individual, and she wasn't doing it as part of a war.
Okay.
It kind of seemed to be her thing, but also the numbers involved are in doubt. There is doubt about whether
Okay.
it was really that
What
many.
propaganda from enemies?
From afterwards.
The Habsburgs.
Jesuits from
Yeah.
afterwards. You
Yeah.
would see it might have been in certain people's interests for it to have appeared far worse
Did you
than
say
it was.
the Jesuits?
Well, one of the accounts
That's
is
like
a Jesuit.
Cult. That's like a
Exactly,
a
yeah.
death cult. At the time.
It was a Jesuit writing an account of her
Yeah.
that maybe might have created that number.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean she didn't murder a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
What about the old
Habsburgs?
The Habsburgs.
Well,
No, but ever since I forgot what was
you know, like Bruce.
I know. Was
Do you think Bruce was a
Bruce
was a
Forsyth was a
Habsburg?
Habsburg?
He might well have been. Google any Habsburg; they've all got the same chin.
And also the lower lip.
Yeah, they all got
all
this
really
big
under-
chin. Yeah,
really
yeah.
undershot.
Because they were inbreeding,
No,
literally.
it's that's a product of inbreeding.
Yeah, yeah.
And only inbreeding.
Wow.
So any of your friends who are like that.
Yeah.
So Gav, let's
let's-
where does our merry tale of a serial killer begin?
John, just I don't want to make light of this, but let's just call her
We've
the.
gone in heavy, haven't we?
Let's just call her the bad girl of posh murderers,
Okay.
right? She really was
She's
pretty
the bad girl of 16th century Hungary.
Well, she apparently beat victims with clubs, burned them with hot irons,
Yeah.
bit chunks of flesh from their cheeks,
Wow.
stuck needles under their fingernails,
Good
and,
Lord.
according to legend, bathed in their blood. So there's a bit of myth making and legend making about her. It's not confirmed whether
Well,
she
you don't reckon
bathed
she
in
used
blood.
them. No one's cool enough to put needles under people's fingernails. That's got to be a myth.
No, that's famous torture technique, isn't it?
Yeah, I was
Famous,
joking.
yeah.
I was joking, Gav.
Anyway, she never formally was tried because she was too connected.
Yeah.
Because her family way too powerful. She was, though, bricked up inside a room in her own castle
Do you know what it
until
reminds-
she died.
Do you know this was starting to remind me of a little bit?
Go on.
El Chapo.
Yeah.
Like he was on trial for ages. We never heard anything
Ever again.
Because everyone knows the Americans are up to sort of.
Yeah,
and now he's
something's
been
going on.
walled up somewhere.
Yeah,
or
and now
whatever.
they've got El Mayo.
Yeah,
And,
no. I think El Mayo was killed the other day.
no, he was caught, I think.
Was
Or was
he?
he killed? He might have been.
But can you
El
say,
Mayo Zapata.
greatest smoker ever on television.
The actor that played him What a good-looking man.
No, but you cannot.
He was the coolest guy.
No, I don't know about good looking. He was
Didn't
extremely.
look anything like the real Elmira,
No,
by
just
the way.
on that fishing boat, with messing around with prawns and
Loads
beers
of
and
prawns.
loads of fags. You sort of think, really, he didn't look good with prawny hands.
He did.
Smoking tabs. He looked great,
He
didn't
looked great. I
Yeah.
loved Elmira.
Everyone loves Elmira.
Why do we watch Narcos and we think, come on, leave him alone?
Leave him alone. He's a really good guy. Well, even when he was trying to turn dealers over in like
know, just killing them.
Tijuana,
Yeah.
you're thinking, come on.
Cleaning out the,
Yeah. Next week, El Chat. No.
the Orello brothers or someone.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Isn't it the Reyes already? They've got two. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, she owned more land than the King of Hungary. You know, there's always one aristocrat that's richer than the king.
Yeah, like now.
They don't
Duke
last too long, but yeah.
Duke of Westminster.
Yeah. She spoke 4 languages. She was one of the best educated women in Europe, and she might have been the worst human being that ever lived.
Good God.
August.
That's a real title.
What an opener.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The worst woman
No, but.
who ever lived.
And now we come to the award for the worst woman that's ever lived. The nominations are
Elizabeth Báthory.
Boadicea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's born August 1560 in Nyírbátor in Hungary. The Bathories were one of the oldest, most powerful noble families in Central Europe, richer than royalty, more land than most countries, because countries were small in those days.
Yeah.
Her uncle Stephen Bathory, became King of Poland and Grand Duke
Uncle
of Lithuania.
Steve.
But in those days, being King of Poland might have been a lesser title than Grand Duke of Lithuania.
You're right.
It probably wasn't,
Probably
but
wasn't,
it could
yeah.
have been. We don't know. He wasn't. She wasn't minor gentry, super elite. The family had a well-documented history of mental instability, violence, and Satanism.
Right.
One uncle, a
Can I
notorious.
just say,
Go on.
you know, well, 1 and 2, A and B,
Yeah.
mental illness, violence, yeah?
Yes.
That's all well and good.
It is. Yeah.
Do you really need C, Satanism, if
Not
you've got
really,
those two going for you?
no.
But the worst thing is when you add C,
Yes.
did she think she was doing good?
Oh, I see.
Sorry,
For,
did she think she was doing
for
good?
her Lord and Master.
Right.
Well, I always think it's a great way to denounce someone, isn't it? Especially if you're a Jesuit
No,
writing
I'm not
an
quite-
account. You add a bit of Satanism or not believing or
Yeah, but
blasphemy.
if you're crazy
Yes.
and violent.
You're
yeah.
possessed. Yeah.
No, but if you're also, I don't know what's worse, someone who's like that
Hmm.
and is a devout Christian, or someone
That's
who's.
when things get
No,
confusing.
but I think
yeah,
that's
yeah.
worse.
It
At
is
least,
worse.
At least if they're a Satanist, you know.
They're true to form.
Yeah, you're true
A
to form.
Christian's being a
That
hypocrite. Yeah, yeah.
means you can't add 4. A fucking hypocrite. Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
You know.
And worst of all,
Yeah,
a
He's
massive
mentally-
hypocrite.
Mentally unstable, violent, a devout Christian, and a huge hypocrite.
Massive
Yeah, from
hypocrite,
which- yeah.
One of her uncles was a notorious alcoholic and sex addict. One of her aunts was an alleged witch who practiced sadomasochism.
Right.
And she had a brother who was a drunkard and a lecher.
Gav, she couldn't have been a sadist.
Why?
Because that's named after the Marquis de Sade. He wasn't born till 1740.
Oh, of course. No,
Think
no.
about it.
Yeah, well, we would be calling them all Biatorists.
Yeah. I don't know
if it was her.
What were sadists called before
Yeah,
the
what were
Marquis
they
de Sade?
called?
I guess violent, mentally unstable, and
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, before, yeah.
She could read and write, apparently, in 4 languages. Very.
Sorry, the answer is Christians.
Yeah,
Christians.
Yeah,
Gav.
absolutely.
Devout Christians.
Devout Christians.
Yeah, what were
yeah.
sadists called before the Marquis de Sade? Answer: devout Christians.
Brother Hurley.
Yeah, disciplinarians. Yeah.
So Elizabeth was apparently really intelligent. She could read and write in 4 languages, very rare for the time.
Yeah.
Hungarian, Latin, German, and Greek.
Hey, who's she got that in common with? If you had English,
Who?
Sir Christopher Lee.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right.
He had a soft spot for Hungary.
Do you think
Of
she?
course he did.
Do you think she worked for SOE at some point?
I don't know. But you know what's really weird, Gav, is we've got a lot of cruelty, and it's always been, real turmoil in this region of Eastern
Yeah.
Central Europe.
Horrible bloody
do-
skirmishes.
Do you
yeah.
think it's because they're so far from the sea that there's a sort of heart of darkness thing going on?
A landlocked state
No,
of
it's-
mind.
But it's heart of darkness, isn't it?
It
You
is.
go down the river
Yeah.
into darkness, like in the
Yeah.
original Colonel Kurtz.
And you can't retreat back to the
Yes.
ocean, yeah, because
And the
you're
ocean-
trapped in this
and the o-
weird new world,
Right.
in the dark interior.
And the ocean sort of clears your mind. And it's why Britain's always been such a nation of decent
Cheerful nation.
Cheerful, decent.
Morning!
No, but do you think it's why that the real, like, Vlad the Impaler,
I wonder.
the Russians...
Because it's always in the deepest, darkest depths of the interior.
But this is the point of Heart of Darkness, the Conrad classic, is that as you go on that river journey,
Further in.
you are going into your own heart, into your own morality, and away from all that's decent and good and Christian.
And away from the roving eye of the authorities and all that.
Yes. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Anyway, go on.
Anyway, so her childhood, there was a formative experience she had.
Yeah.
At the age of 10, between 10 or 13, she witnessed a Romany man who'd been accused of theft, put to death in, I think now, the worst way I've ever heard of.
Not the Brazen Bull.
No, so this is what I was going to bring up. We've heard of the Brazen Bull, which was a bull made of bronze, where a person was put inside and a fire lit underneath, and the nose of the bull had trumpet shapes, so you could hear the screams of the victim.
A thing to say about that, incidentally, is you're obviously locked in the bull. There's not.
Oh yeah, you can't get out.
You're not going in there just to warm
In
up.
fact, the man who made it for the evil ruler, was put in the bull himself, which is.
If you really want to, if your kids ever say, "Daddy," or "Mummy, what's karma?" you go, "Well, let me put it this way."
You've heard of the phrase "hoisted with your own petard,"
right.
but burned by your own bull.
Roasted.
Should be that you're roasted in your own bull.
Brazened in your own bull.
Should be the saying.
Yeah.
Should be the saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get better.
Brazen cheek.
We've had people broken on the wheel. We've had people hung, drawn, and quartered.
God,
Do you know what she saw this guy?
What?
Do you know how they killed him?
How?
They sewed him
No, go on.
alive into the belly of a dying, rotting horse and left his head out to die. He was just left there.
You know why they did this, don't you?
Because of the smell?
No streaming, no intranet. So there's no entertainment, Gav. There's no telly. This is why.
I thought you couldn't think of anything worse than some of these other deaths. They found a worse one.
No, this was a night's entertainment. This is what happens with no telly.
Sewn into the belly of a dying horse.
What a laugh for an evening's entertainment.
Imagine lying there.
Yeah.
I've got days of this.
They were so bored. Remember, they're as intelligent as we are now. And
are you all right in there, Steve?
I've
been better.
Yeah. He was so.
Can I have a cigarette?
How was the horse just dead?
Well, it was an unwanted old dying horse. They thought, wow, I'll just sew him in there.
Well, he couldn't break out.
No, they must have tied him up or something.
He was tied up and put in a horse.
In a horse. I'm sorry, but it is the worst death I could do. I can't think of anything else.
But you know, some nights, this is what it must have been like. You know, some nights it's really good fun. You know, like thinking up, for fellas, who's going on the stag night. For ladies, who should we invite on the hen night?
Yeah.
Planning things.
Sure. Yeah.
Planning birthday parties.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing. What should we do? Think about it. What should we do for Gav's 60th? But now we're saying, what should we do to give him what should we do to kill him?
And the smell.
I know.
It's because of the smell.
Let's sew him alive into a horse.
In belly of dying horse.
With his head out.
But
we won't be able to see his reactions. Okay.
We leave the
head out.
And if someone feeds him, it's okay.
He's dying.
He's going to die anyway.
Oh, it's disgusting.
What about the smell? Exactly.
But if we leave his head inside, we can't see him suffer. Where is the show? You're right, where is the show?
I've never heard of this.
Stick his head out the horse's ass.
That would have gone one worse, wouldn't it?
No, but I bet they did. I bet that's where the head was poking out.
You're probably right, yeah.
They probably poked his head out the horse's ass. Imagine seeing that horse trotting along. You think you're tripping. You'd be like, is that just me, or was there a guy's head coming out that horse's ass? Help!
Anyway, the theories are that she was either traumatized or fascinated by seeing this happen.
But sometimes one can lead to the other.
Well, true, yeah. So 1571 to 1575, she gets engaged. She's 11. She gets engaged.
She's an old maid.
She is.
She's a spinster nearly.
She's already been to all the balls.
Yeah.
She's danced.
She's nearly on the shelf.
She's danced with all the cavalry officers.
In medieval Hungary. Nearly on the shelf, Gav.
Anyway, she marries the black hero of Hungary, a war hero, a guy called Ferenc Nadasdy,
Yeah.
a nobleman nicknamed the Black Hero of Hungary because of his savagery when he would fight the Ottomans.
Right.
Don't forget, everyone's fighting the Ottomans.
Yes.
If you want to know who anyone was fighting
Ottomans.
who wasn't an Ottoman
Ottomans.
in medieval history,
yeah.
it was the Ottomans.
Yeah. Ask yourself,
Yeah.
are they an Ottoman? If no, they're fighting the
The
Ottomans.
Ottomans, yeah. Ferenc,
Or the British.
apparently Ferenc taught her torturing techniques, just showing off about what he'd done to the Ottomans, including spreading honey on a servant girl and leaving her tied outside for the insects to devour. This is another kind of mythical torture death we've read about in books. Awful. I still think the horse's arse is worse.
This is life without telly. They talk about censorship and now there's too much, comic book violence and stuff. It's inspiring the young, but it's nothing like boredom does.
Anyway, they got married when she was 15. She obviously engaged at 11. May 1575, she's married. 4,500 guests, huge wedding. Her wedding present from Ferenc was Chaktice Castle, where she ended up living and doing most of her alleged murders. Ferenc was away at war for most of the years of their time together.
She's bored.
Leaving Elizabeth in sole charge of thousands of servants and millions of square miles of land.
I remember.
With no accountability.
No accountability. And
richer than the king.
Richer than the king. And really, heart of darkness. And the image she carries in her head is a guy's head out the arse of a horse.
There you go, her formative experience.
Right.
That's her first Bloomin Legend moment. She's now the evil queen of this area.
The only thing you've seen on telly is like, as a kid, is like The Expendables.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You think that's normal.
Exactly. So the late 1578 until 1600, this is the torture time.
Right.
According to later testimony from over 300 witnesses, because they did hold trials, not of her, but of all the servants she roped in to help her do the killing. They all got done.
Who grasped her up?
Well, the inquiry forced the servants. We'll get to it. So the violence begins gradually in the late 1570s.
Classic.
And escalates over decades. Always young girls. She's always killing these young girls.
Yeah, it's herself, isn't it?
She was beating girls with clubs and whips and bare fists, sometimes for hours till they died. She was burning them with hot irons, heated keys and coins. She's sticking
keys.
She was sticking. Well, keys were massive in those days.
I was going to say that's not
like
like a Yale.
No, it's like a tennis racket.
We shouldn't. There comes a time, I know comedy is tragedy plus time sometimes.
Well, and also, however cruel some of these, they were all enemy soldiers. They weren't young girls. She is unique. We've never done anyone this awful.
So sorry, Gav, it suddenly got a bit serious there.
It does. She froze girls to death in winter. She'd pour water on them and leave them outside. She was starving them. Then she was forcing them to cook and eat their own flesh. She was covering girls.
What's the worst thing your mum made you eat?
For me, it was.
Drop a comment
for
below.
me, it was. Peas.
Drop a comment below.
Peas.
Yeah.
Garden peas. Still don't like them.
Don't you like them?
No, I don't like them.
Not even like frozen bird's eye ones.
I quite like mushy peas.
Oh, you see, I don't.
I don't mind those.
And also, I don't even like real peas. And I
only
hate
the petit pois.
And the one I really can't do is broad beans.
Oh no, I like broad beans.
Oh no,
if they've been shelled, and you have that with a bit of penne, and it mushes up a bit with the parmesan.
No, I'm not having that. Guy.
Oh, delicious.
Not having a coffee.
Anyway, she had a core group. You won't believe this. This is horror movie stuff.
Okay.
She had a core group of accomplices. So picture this evil noblewoman. She's got a chief maid described as her co-torturer, so an evil woman with her, a washerwoman who cleaned up after the crimes, and a dwarf servant who lured and restrained the girls. I mean,
a dwarf servant.
This is like, what, they just love a bit of theatre, these weird murderers.
Christ, I love
Why does she have to make it weird? Does she have a big man with a hood on as
it's
well?
Like Christopher Lee's favourite country.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
It's literally like a horror movie.
Fucking is coming. We're
fucking
laughing.
Hell, Gav.
Laugh about it. Take us through that cast again. Take us through her. Take us through her.
This is traumatic.
Take us through.
I need to watch a cartoon.
The richest woman in medieval Hungary's crew. Who's there?
The bad girl of Posh Murderers.
The bad girl. Take us through the bad girl of 16th century Hungary.
A team of accomplices.
We shouldn't laugh.
I know we shouldn't.
Fucking bad.
It's awful.
Go on.
She had a chief maid described as her co-torturer,
Right.
She had a washerwoman who would clean up after her crimes.
Right.
And a
Like
dwarf.
the wolf.
A dwarf servant who helped lure and restrain the girls.
Right.
Christ alive.
A dwarf. But if you're lured, I would think most people knew about him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's part of the myth, isn't it? Because if it's true, even vaguely true.
Why the dwarf?
Because she knows everyone's terrified of this luring dwarf. He's like the child catcher.
Jesus, I mean,
Horrible.
Very rare you read something that makes Game of Thrones.
I know.
Just seem,
It's like Tom and Jerry.
The truth is stranger than fiction. I mean, makes Game of Thrones look like Tom and Jerry.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it makes Game of Thrones look like Narnia.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have to be aware that there were people whose interests it was to make it seem much worse than it might have been. But it doesn't matter, because even if she did this to a dozen girls, she's still one of the worst mass murderers serial killers in history.
I tell you what it does. It makes Game of Thrones look like Frozen.
Lying there with your head sticking out of a horse.
Oh, Christ.
Let it go! Let it go! Oh, dear. Anyway, so these are some of the more horrific legend parts of what people said about her.
Go on, Gav.
She was claimed to have bathed in the blood of virgins to preserve her youth,
Yeah.
which is a bit vampire-y.
No.
That's part vampire legend, isn't
We're
it?
getting near that neck of the woods, aren't we?
We are. Well,
mean,
this
I know
castle
this
is in modern-day Slovakia.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I think we can generalise, can't we?
Well, here's the thing. That detail doesn't appear until 1729.
Right.
That's over 100 years after her death. And it was written by a Jesuit scholar.
But also, we're quite near Vlad the Impaler's kind of dates. He was a bit earlier than this, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. But
still, his legend, I bet, would have...
There is trial testimony that still exists from her trial in 1611,
Right.
but none of it mentions her bathing in any blood. The most famous thing about her is almost certainly made up, invented by someone writing 100 years later, the idea of her bathing in the blood. There are mentions of her being covered in blood in the torture chamber, so that's where the legend might have grown from.
Okay.
But bathing in it, almost certainly not true. But I do think it's interesting that the idea of staying young forever because you like the blood of young virgins or whatever, that's quite part of the Dracula myth,
But
isn't
if I'm honest with you, and let's be honest, I'm not trying to say I get it.
Yeah, go on.
No, what I'm saying is, but I can believe that the woman who is this, I can see why she'd do that.
Yeah.
I mean, even
it was not much of a stretch if she was even doing the other killing.
Look, Gav.
Yeah.
Even today, you hear of horrendous things that have happened. Like rituals in witchcraft in Africa and wherever.
Yeah.
Even today.
Yeah.
When sort of people were trying to cure themselves of various diseases.
Yeah.
And there's always this thing about the sacredness of virgins and what you can do there. And I think that's got a bit of truth about it.
Johnny, even today there are warlords who torture people.
Yeah, right.
There are evil killers
Yeah.
who are in remote enough areas not to be troubled by the authorities. Anyway, her husband, though, in 1604, Ferenc, he dies in 1604 from an infected battle wound.
Right.
Probably brushed against a stick.
Yes,
and
like
died,
just
as
nothing.
you've pointed out in the past. Some suspect poisoning, also just as likely, because he was very wealthy and landed
Is
himself.
that why you think we went for full armour?
Because of infections.
Yeah, just to stop anything getting scratched.
Yeah.
Because they had like armoured legs, and the chances of someone actually sword fighting and going down for your legs pretty slim.
Yeah.
Is it just to avoid scratches and everything?
It must have been, because I do know that with the evolution of armour, it started with just mail.
Yeah.
And then they added a breastplate, but you didn't have the arm bits yet.
No.
Then they added more and more because archers were having to aim at the gaps because there wasn't any point shooting it at the breastplate.
Yeah.
And so, same thing. If you
Same
got an
thing.
arrow in you, you were going to die
You're gonna die,
of
yeah, right,
infection.
yeah.
I'm sure I read somewhere, wasn't it part of one of the Yellowstones, one of the older versions? One of the characters dies because of an arrow.
Yes.
Because it's been deliberately rubbed in a cow pat or something.
Human
awful,
shit.
Awful. Anyway, Ferenc dies, so she's now...
I always like to think it's been put in human shit.
Yeah.
Like the
That would be
like in
the-
Vietnam and stuff, they were doing
Sure.
that, and
Yeah. Well,
once
it's like a
that's-
poison dart frog in South America
yeah.
for hunting.
Yeah,
But it's
but
far
that's not
more
human shit.
No,
is it?
it's not. But the idea of an infection rather than just a lethal poison
Yeah,
is just so horrendous.
isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah. That's why they say never leave your toothbrush around someone who hates you.
It's a brilliant
You
bit
know,
of advice.
yeah.
Brilliant bit of advice.
I mean, I know you're very wary about your cleaner.
Yeah, well, I found out the hard way, John.
Yeah.
No.
I bet you could tell some stories.
I don't have a cleaner, by the way.
Okay.
The killings after her husband
He
died.
does have staff.
No,
She's got another title.
they stay in the lodge.
Yeah.
Anyway,
She's not a cleaner. There's the chambermaid.
No butler.
There's a butler. There's his housekeeper. But cleaner, that's not a title that exists in his.
Once Ferenc is gone, she kicks into gear because she's now a ridiculously powerful, wealthy widow.
Yes.
She's now got all her husband's land as well.
Yeah. How old is she now?
So it's 1604. She was born in 1560. So she's in
right,
her...
probably 40, 45.
Yeah, 44.
44.
She's 44. The killings escalate dramatically.
Good.
She became obsessed with aging.
Is there any other way?
No, right. And she's in her own castle
Yeah,
with no
right.
oversight.
Bored.
She became obsessed with aging and losing her looks. She shifted from targeting, and this is her big mistake, John. I like to call this the Bernie Madoff mistake.
Go on.
She started...
Why'd you like to?
Well, I'll explain.
Okay, go on.
She shifted from targeting peasant girls,
Yeah.
who no one cared about enough,
Yeah.
to the daughters of minor nobles.
That's a hell of a pivot.
The kind of minor noble daughters who would be sent for finishing schools
Yeah.
and things like that. People started asking questions then.
Yeah.
Because as Bernie Madoff found out, if you rip off the masses as a trader in the stock market, you get a fine. You might not even get a fine.
Yeah.
You don't go to jail. But if you rip off rich people, you get 150 years in jail.
Yeah.
He ripped off wealthy people.
Gav, I tell you what it is as well, and this is, the world's biggest serial killer. Obviously, is apart from this woman, evidently.
Yeah.
But according to Guinness Book of Records, is our very own Harold Shipman.
Right.
By our very own, I mean Britain's Harold Shipman.
Yeah.
Not like our very own.
No.
And got away with it for years
Yeah.
until he started forging wills.
Is that
And
what it
getting-
was?
Yeah, no one cared. Everyone was like, we were a bit suspicious. We didn't want to say anything.
Yeah.
And it was, it was because people were ill, and he thought he was saving the health service quite a lot of money. you know?
Right.
You know,
Crack on with it.
Crack
yeah,
on with
yeah.
it, right?
Bloody
I mean,
hell.
now that's just called A&E.
Yeah.
But Gav, it wasn't until he started. There's 6 cases. That's what raised people's suspicions
Right.
when he started pressuring to leave him money.
Yeah.
That's when
that was the red flag.
That's the red flag. Yeah,
Wow.
but before that, he got away with it for years.
Right.
240 victims. Yeah.
Yeah,
Think about
yeah.
like the last 4.
They
But-
gave Bernie Madoff 150 years in
yeah.
prison.
Well, Harold Shipman's not around anymore. so I
yeah.
can't
Well, and he
remember.
died. Bernie Madoff died in prison anyway. But anyway,
So did Shipman.
yeah, did he? Yeah.
Hmm.
1609 to 1610. There's just this one year. This is when the rumours and the politics come into it. A Lutheran minister publicly complained about the number of dead and missing girls. Bodies were found in fields and streams and grain pits and orchards and under
Well, if there's that
floorboards.
many, 600.
Well, we don't know that number to be true.
Yeah.
We just know there were
Gav,
bodies.
I'm just trying to sensationalise it.
I'm coming to the number. I'm coming to the number.
Okay.
She was so powerful, she was literally untouchable.
Yeah.
But she had now started making enemies, including the King of Hungary.
Yeah.
But this is the key detail. King Matthias II of Hungary owed the Bathory Nadasdy estate a massive debt
There we go.
equivalent to the size of the national treasury.
Right.
He owed everything.
So there we go.
If Elizabeth was convicted, her lands could be seized
Right.
and the whole debt wiped out
Right.
in one go.
Yeah.
Many historians argue she was almost certainly guilty of horrific abuse, but the scale, the 650 victims, may have been inflated by political enemies
Right.
who wanted her cash.
Right.
So even this is another legend moment. Even her downfall might have been motivated by people wanting her money.
Yes.
December 1610, they raid her castle. 1610, the 30th of December 1610, Count George Turzo, the king's right-hand man, raids the castle with soldiers.
Yeah.
They find a dead girl in the entrance hall, another girl dying in another room,
Yeah.
others locked in dungeons,
There's a pattern, isn't there?
bearing signs of torture. She's arrested on the spot. She was 50 years old. 1611, there's a trial. but not hers. She never stood trial. Putting a noblewoman of her status in court would have embarrassed the entire aristocracy. Her relatives, including the King of Poland, kept it very quiet. Her accomplices were all tried. Over 300 witnesses testified. Her servants were found guilty. Their fingers were torn off with hot pincers.
Is that the punishment?
They were burned alive.
Right.
This is just normal court stuff now.
Yeah.
A register allegedly found in her Elizabeth's belongings listed 650 victims in her own handwriting. This document has never been verified, and may
They still got the document.
well, it may not have existed.
Okay.
The court settled on 80 definitely confirmed deaths. That's probably about right.
Yeah.
And still one of the most prolific serial killers in history. 80 people, but obviously getting away with it because she had her own castle. Another legend moment, so powerful, even caught red-handed with bodies.
Yeah.
She didn't go on trial.
Right.
And her servants had to be, killed for her.
So the Queen never had a driving licence, did she?
Didn't she? Did she never have to pass? She drove during the war, didn't she?
Yeah, because it's issued in her name. Never had a passport either. Because you're a subject
Of her?
of her subject, so she didn't have to have either.
Yeah, why would
The
she?
only person ever.
Is that right?
Yeah, the King doesn't have to have one either.
Doesn't he?
No, because it's his. You're driving on his roads.
That's true. Did he need one while he was the prince?
Yes.
Imagine throwing away your passport.
Yeah. No,
I don't need this anymore.
It's like getting an Oyster 60+ card around London. It's like getting free.
What an Oyster
but when
card.
you become king, it's brilliant. It's not getting free transfer. You know, brilliant. No more
That should
passport.
there should be a ceremonial thunk of the passport into the bin.
And the driving licence.
Yeah. Dunk.
Yeah.
I'd love that. Anyway,
Well, when they ask you for ID, you just pull out a banknote. Most people just flip them a coin. Most people just a stamp.
a post box. No.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah.
1611. She is punished though. She is sentenced to perpetual imprisonment.
Oh, dear.
They brick her up inside the rooms at Kachtice Castle. The masons walled up the doors and the windows for where she was kept.
Yeah.
They left small slits for ventilation and food. She had no visitors, no communication, no trial, no confession, no sunlight.
Right.
She lived like that for 3.5 years.
Right.
Is that a fitting punishment? Well, we didn't know how long she would
They've
live.
done the same virtue for old chap, haven't they?
Yeah.
And John Gotti.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, Gav.
I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, Gav, I think so. I mean, I think they just put her out of misery and at least done something cruel to her.
Well, she should have had some torture.
Sorry, I say put her out of misery. Eventually, they should have put her into some misery and then ended it.
Johnny, I'd have sewn her into a horse.
Definitely.
That's it. Should have been that.
Or a pig.
Yes. Let's
Something
bring
a
the
bit
story
smaller.
full circle.
Yes. Yes. That'd be really
Pig.
poetic.
Do you think
wouldn't
a
it?
pig?
A pig. No, a horse.
A donkey.
Just how it started.
Sewn her into a donkey.
Because that was the big influence on her. What would you cite as your major influence? Well, when I was a kid, I saw this guy's head poking out the arse of a horse he'd been sewn into. I suppose that was quite a big influence on me.
I still can't get over it.
Yeah.
Who thought it up? Anyway.
Yeah. And then you just go, ha! And off it goes into the woods where there's wolves and what have you. Ha!
She
Have
dies.
you ever done that, Gav?
What? Go, yeah, to a horse?
And slapped it, just gone, ha!
No, I've never done that.
God, that's a real ambition. Do you know, I haven't really got a bucket list because I always think bucket lists are intrinsically bad because you're effectively just doing a countdown.
You're tempting death, really, aren't you?
Well, you finish it.
I've never ridden into a town all hot and dusty
and had a whiskey
and gone in and had a warm whiskey in
straight
a bar.
away. Yeah.
First thing I want is
But I've never put someone's body over a horse and just gone, ha!
I really want to do that. or rolled up to the saloon and just looped your reins once.
Yeah, no, not even loop.
Not even just
flap them
dangle
over.
it like
psychological.
Yeah. It must be. Yeah.
All an interesting fact to come out of that, Gav.
Yeah.
Is in America, they park diagonally. Not
yes,
in
on the
parking
streets
spaces.
they do. Yeah.
Because it's from the horse days.
Is it?
Yeah, because that's how horses go.
Why?
Because horses you don't park a horse like that along the curb, do you? So for a while there was a mixture of horses and cars.
Right.
So the parking bays were the same. That's why they park like that in America.
Wow.
Yeah.
So much comes from horses.
It does,
They're kind of like the Navy, aren't they? They've influenced everything.
Yeah, and dog fighting.
Well, Formula One racing is all about horse racing.
Yes.
Paddocks and stewards and inquiries.
Between horse racing, dog fighting,
Sailing.
No, that's the sail. Most
sayings are
Yes.
from the Navy, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Go on, Gavin, let's finish it off.
Okay, so she does die in 1614. A guard notices that her meal from the previous day was untouched.
But how would one know?
Well, he found her dead on the floor, aged 54.
Yeah, in a room without doors or windows.
Yeah, they must have uncorked some of the bricks and gone in there.
Must have stunk in there.
I bet it did. Local villagers were so horrified at just even having her body nearby that it was reportedly moved away from the church to a different place where the family had a crypt.
Yeah.
So even in death, another legend moment, even in death, people didn't want her anywhere near them.
Bloomin' legend.
Wild facts about her. She never once confessed, even after sort of conviction. She maintained...
That shows strength of character.
Well, no, she maintained she'd done nothing wrong.
Yes.
Which, to be fair to her, which I don't really want to be because she was horrible, a lot of noble people killed peasants and were never answerable
she
to
was
anyone.
a Satanist.
Well, she might have been. We don't know.
I'm just saying, but if she was, I mean, the prisoner is a pretty strong case. She just doesn't strike me as like,
No,
a nun.
No, she wasn't. A good
She's
woman.
no Mother Teresa.
She was not a good woman.
No.
Her family was so powerful, the King of Hungary couldn't execute her. The best he could manage was just bricking her up. Her husband, who, before he died, showed her how to torture people. He showed her how to put oiled paper between a servant's toes and set it on fire. Apparently, she adopted it enthusiastically.
Yeah, so that old trick.
One witness...
I always try that at hotels.
Have you got any oil and paper?
I don't know, I've got a little trick I do. My little party.
Gather round, everyone.
What's your party piece? Please drop a comment below. Unusual party pieces, please.
Yes.
We're doing those on the show. Bloomin Legends at global.com, or drop a comment below on YouTube, or at Bloomin Legends on Instagram or TikTok. We'd like to know any friends you've got. It could be dads, relatives, any peculiar party pieces, and do they match oiling pieces of paper, putting them between servants' toes, and setting them on fire.
Yeah. One witness testified she bit a girl's cheek and tore off a piece of her cheek and spat it out. Kachtic Castle still stands in ruins in Slovakia. You can visit it.
Can you?
Yeah, I looked at it on YouTube. There it is.
What's it like?
It's pretty mostly ruins, but there is a couple of like frames of windows and things.
But is there like a small bit of it that's still habitable by like a couple?
A cheerful couple with a gift shop.
We don't see anything wrong with it. We get a lot of tourists here.
Would you like a snow globe?
We do T-shirts on it, snow globes.
Lots of little dead girls' bodies.
You get manacles.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, Cal. That's a bit tasteless.
Horrible. Guinness Book of Records previously listed her as the most prolific female murderer in history.
Wow.
Now with caveats because of the disputed evidence.
Right.
The final stats of her legendary status: she's one of the richest, smartest, most powerful women in Europe and used all of it to torture and kill for 25 years. She owned more land than the king, spoke 4 languages, was untouchable by law. When they caught her, they couldn't even execute her. They just bricked her up.
Yeah.
And the most famous detail was probably made up by a bloke century later about her bathing in blood.
Yeah.
She's a monster, a mystery, and a blooming legend of the worst possible kind.
But Gav,
yes,
is she on the Bloomin' Legendary leaderboard? So Gav, what do we think? Elizabeth Báthory?
Well, what I'm confused about is any account of any aristocrat in history. There's always something redeeming about them.
Yeah.
There's always she had the voice of an opera singer.
Yeah.
Or she was quite the dancer.
She has none.
We get none of that with Elizabeth. Well, she spoke 4 languages. That was about the most flattering thing they say about her.
She was influenced by a guy, a head coming out of a guy who'd been sewn into a horse.
Sewn into a horse, yeah. For that to be her main inspiration.
She had a dwarf.
She had a dwarf who lured young female victims to their death. Yeah. There's nothing redeeming about her.
I don't want to start, if we start a culture of serial killers on here, rather than, I mean, she's a serial killer. She's not
taking an umbrella to her tank.
She's no Vlad the Impaler.
No.
She's no Bodicea.
No.
There's no war here.
No, there was wars going on in those situations.
What I'm saying is, because she's got no grand scheme,
yes,
and she's just a murderer.
She's just a murderer, yeah.
We can't, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, she's a weirdo to mythical proportions.
Yes.
But a weirdo is not a hero.
I mean, it's a bit like you said about Houdini. He's just a magician.
He's a magician.
He's a magician.
At the end of the day.
She's just a murderer.
She is in the end
just a murderer.
She happens to be one of the worst ever murderers, but she is in the end
just a murderer.
Just a murderer.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So sorry, but we still say Elizabeth Báthory, Bloomin' Legend.
This has been a global production.